Hi, this is Catholic Ben. So finally, we've arrived to the ninth of 9 insights from Exodus 90 that took us the 90 days. And I'd just like to recap everything a little bit. First of all, yes, finally we're going to talk about the Promised Land, but let's begin with the beginning. First thing that I learned was that leaving Egypt is a must for me. Egypt being the life that is not being lived to the fullest potential that God created you to live. It's a life that is, entrenched somewhere, a life where you are stuck and cannot get yourself unstuck, at least in some of the areas. It was like that with me. Not all of the areas, but some of the areas in my life, I was completely and totally stuck. And Exodus made me aware of that I was stuck and that I was living in Egypt. It was the, Egypt of slavery in the areas of, needing to have a good time, at least sometimes, of life of instant gratification, a life of not accepting your own responsibility in many areas, a life of not accepting the responsibility to take your life and live it the way that God intended you to live it, because you're too damn afraid, as Jordan Peterson would say. It's just so yes, leaving Egypt was a must, and God will take me out of it, and God will take me through the desert, and it will be a long path, a long winding road, as we said yesterday. But the most important thing that I found out was I'm not there yet. I'm not in the Promised Land, except at least not in all of the areas. I am in some. I would have been in more of the areas if I had listened to and obeyed everything that was supposed to be done in the Exodus. That's true. I wasn't always perfect. But that's okay. That's another thing. Not being perfect and still continuing the path and doing that's one of the major things that I found out. And then obviously Exodus 90 made me aware that reaching the Promised Land is possible. There is a real chance, a real possibility that I reach my Promised Land in so many areas, in my relationship areas, in my area of my personal fitness, physical health, in the area of my spiritual time with God, in the area of my, time with my wife, with my kids, even in my financial area, there are so many areas, and very importantly, in the area of my contribution to the world, what I'm doing with the talents that God has given me, Am I living up to what God has, put before me or not? Or am I just staying somewhere, stuck, as I said? I am unstuck now. I know that it is possible to reach the potential that God has given me, and that's my Promised Land, and that's what I will be striving for, and that's where I will continue to need God's grace on a daily level. I'll need this grace that He will give me in my quiet time in prayer, meditation, reading the Holy Scriptures, and going to the sacraments regularly. Mass, I'll continue. Obviously Sunday Mass, but at least one more Mass during the week, as we said, at least one more, and then a monthly sacrament of reconciliation, and things like that. And I'll be sharing more of these insights as we go along the way. And why? Because I want to live this life to the fullest, like Jesus said in John 10. Chapter 10, verse 10, He said, that He came to give us life and that we may live this life to the fullest. And I want to live that life. I want to explore what that life is for me, and I'll be sharing that with you as well on this channel, Catholic Ben. I'm glad you're following along, either on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, any of the social platforms. Please share this so that others can gain these insights as well. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye. Ciao.